welcome back to our latest frequently asked question. And our question today comes from Tammi in Avon, Indiana. And her question is, why do you recommend light intensity cardio versus high intensity cardio for some people? And I guess I would like to start, this is a loaded question, so I am going to attempt to answer it shortly. But it goes back to everything that I say. I know this is a cliched answer, it's a cop-out answer, however you want to say it, but it depends. It really depends on each person. But we want to look at, the context of this question, and especially we do need to look at each person because we need to look at each person's goals, we need to look at what they're trying to accomplish, and then we can help determine, the cardio. With us at yourvirtualfitness.com, some of the things that you'll see is we're very precise, we're very strategic about everything we do. So there has to be a purpose behind everything we do. There has to be a strategy behind everything we do, and then give you a reason why. And so to answer your question is when we look at people that are looking to gain muscle and lose fat, people that are looking to change the composition of their physique or how they look, maybe even get into physique competition, what we're looking at, no matter, and a lot of women will get scared by this, is to build muscle. They think that they're going to get bulky. I don't have, well, let me just show you an example, so to speak. I have my phone and I have this remote. Which one looks bigger to you? Of course, the phone does. Well, this would be the indicator of a pound of fat. This is a pound of muscle. A pound of fat takes up over double the space as a pound of muscle. And that's important to identify because when you're building muscle and losing fat, you're not getting bigger. You're getting smaller, you're getting more dense, you're getting more compact, you're getting more tight, you're getting more toned, which 95% of everyone wants. They want to be more tight, toned, defined, not bulkier. There's some obviously that want to get bulky, but that's not the goal of most people. And so that's really the only way that you get bulky is if you add muscle and don't lose fat. If you're adding muscle and not losing fat, then you might get bulkier. But if we're doing everything where you're adding muscle and losing fat at the same time, what's going to happen is you're going to get smaller and tighter and toned. So we want to look at how do you build muscle, how do you lose fat. In addition to that, another thing that we definitely want to look at is the type of cardio. And so when we look at the type of cardio, it's really important for us to look at the, well, before we cover that, one other point that I wanted to make is the thing that everyone says is, and you'll hear everyone say this, I want a higher metabolism. I want a high metabolism. I need a higher metabolism. I need foods or the things that you see on Facebook or wherever. Look at the foods that are going to increase your metabolism. These wondrous foods are going to increase your metabolism. Let's look at what increases metabolism. The term that we use is basic metabolic rate or resting metabolic rate. And what that means, it's the amount of calories your body burns at rest for normal bodily function. So just sitting there doing nothing, sleeping, your body burns calories. It has a caloric need and it will burn calories just for basic functions. Now there's a few things that determine that. It determines that based on the person, based on a number of different genetic factors, including their body type. That's why you see some people that will naturally add weight quicker, some people who are ectomorphs, naturally thin, who can pretty much not gain weight at any time. But when you have that baseline of the person, their genetic capabilities, there is something that causes someone to either increase their metabolism, basically meaning that they burn more calories at rest, which we all want because we can eat more, or a lowering of the metabolism causing your body to burn less calories at rest. Now the overall caloric output that your body has is a combination of resting metabolic rate, how many calories your body burns at rest for normal body functions, plus activity. So and what determines that, if you start with a baseline, is the amount of muscle that a person has. Because I don't have the exact stats in front of me, but the more muscle that your body carries, the greater the need is for the amount of calories output to sustain that muscle at rest. and then you become more active on top of that, and your body can burn more calories. So by increasing lean muscle tissue, you are increasing the resting metabolic rate, which we all want. So I wanted to point that out because it's, when people say, I want a higher metabolism, it's not via exercise. It's a part of it. It's not via the foods that you eat. That is a part of it. It's this overall part of your fitness lifestyle that helps your body to increase muscle, so you're at whatever age you're at, whatever body type you're at, your natural considerations for your baseline metabolism to either increase that or decrease that. Also, when people go on too strict of a diet, when people are in contest prep, they think that losing weight is going to increase their metabolism, where usually the loss of weight will decrease their metabolism, because most people who lose weight also lose muscle, which decreases their resting metabolic rate. So when we look at cardio, for most people, I am a proponent of light intensity cardio. Now, where I'm a proponent of high intensity cardio are for those who are trying to become, those who are athletes, those that have some performance goal in mind, where they need to train harder at a higher intense level. That is definitely one need for high intensity cardio. For any individual that needs, for whatever reason, to have a greater caloric output, we also will look at high intensity cardio so they can burn more calories. But we can have a significant amount of results by simply managing calories in versus calories out. And so therefore, when we look at cardio, there's a couple major things that we want to look at. Number one, when doing cardio, your body burns calories different based on the intensity of the exercise or the percentage maximum heart rate that you're outputting. So at rest, your body is burning almost 100% of stored fat for energy. And at your maximum heart rate, your body is burning almost 100% of stored carbohydrates or glycogen for energy. So it would make sense that if you want to lose fat, that you want to keep your heart rate down to almost a resting state. Well, just resting, your body will only output a certain number of calories. So you can either figure out at a rested state how many calories your body outputs. You can drop below that, and you can do drop below that about 500 calories inputted, and your body will lose fat. The other thing to keep into consideration is when you do weight training, when you lift heavy weights, your body's heart rate, its anaerobic state gets very, very, very high. So you're outputting a very large percentage of carbohydrates. You're outputting a large percentage of calories. And my advice to everyone is to make their intensity from their training come from their weights, because not only will your heart rate accelerate, but you'll also output a high percentage of calories, unless you're in performance. Then what we want to look at is let's look at the rationale for why we want to do light intensity cardio. Why wouldn't I just have people do weight training plus high intensity cardio? There's a very, very important thing to remember. Most people who are trying to lose weight are also on calorically restricted diets, meaning that their carbohydrate levels generally are lower. So if weight training intensely is tapping into their stored carbohydrate levels, and then they do exercise high intensity exercise on top of that, there's no more carbohydrates for them to pull from. So where do you think that gets pulled from? It gets pulled from your lean muscle tissue. And another thing to keep into consideration is the higher the intensity of the training, the more stress it puts on your central nervous system, the harder it is for your body to recover from that training. And whenever you put too much stress on your body, whenever your central nervous system can't recover from that training, and it has this great caloric output, where is it going to pull from? It's going to pull from stored carbohydrates. Then, because of the intensity, because your body's not able to recover from that training, then it's also going to start pulling from muscle. So the perfect relationship there is to output, high intensity training through weight training about 3 to 4 hours per week, because that's something that your body can recover from. Most people with good nutrition can recover quicker from 3 to 4 hours of high intensity training, weights, cardio, whatever it may be, than others. The worse your nutrition, the more restricted your calories are, the less you can recover. Those that have better nutrition, those that have more calories, which are athletes, they need more calories, are going to recover quicker. So you train hard with weights. You do that. You output calories. You build strength. You build muscle. Your body can recover from 3 to 4 hours a week of training. And then to output more calories, you will then do some light intensity cardio, which your body can recover from quickly. Because the heart rate is lower, your body will pull more from stored fat than stored carbohydrates. And for most people, because they're calorically restricted, then it's not going to pull from lean muscle. Your body can recover from that. So that's the question I'll get, is why not do high intensity training to output more calories? And won't that burn more calories than taking in doing light intensity training? And the answer is yes, but you will lose muscle if you exercise too much, put too much of a stress on your central nervous system, and because your caloric levels are restricted, what's going to end up happening is you are going to end up losing muscle, and that metabolic set point that we talked about in the beginning is going to decrease. So my question to everyone is, why do you work that hard if you don't have to? Why do you need to go through all that training in the gym if you don't have to? If you can do ample amount of training, which is the necessary amount of training to build muscle, you add in a little bit of light intensity cardio to increase the overall calories that your body will burn, or what I recommend, X amount of steps per day. If you do those two things that your body can recover from, when you're not having to spend that much time in the gym, where your lean muscle tissue increases, and then you take in the necessary calories, what you'll end up seeing is that your body's lean muscle tissue will increase. You will decrease fat. You will spend less time in the gym because your body is recovering from that, and you're going to end up with a more toned, lean physique. We've seen it countless times where people do too much training, where we'll back them off. We'll get their calories right. We'll get their training right. And we'll have them make up the difference in calories outputted through light intensity cardio that your body can recover from. The issue here is not that high intensity cardio will not burn more calories. The main issue is too much exercise puts too much stress on your body, which makes it impossible for your body to recover from. Too much of a caloric difference where you're outputting way more than what you're taking in will not result in more fat being lost. It's going to result in more muscle being lost. So your metabolic set point is going to come down, and you're not going to have that lean tone, in shape physique. What's going to happen is you're just going to have the skinnier version of where you already are. I hope that makes sense to you. I hope that's a rationale on why we do light intensity cardio. I know it is lengthy, but it is a little rant that I went on, and I do appreciate you guys joining us today.
When you feel that something's wrong, I'll shelter you and keep you warm. I'll never let you walk alone.